Okay, I'm now speaking with Skye Grigsby. Skye, you recently went to Washington, D.C. to the Justice or Else march. Why did you decide to go? Why did you feel that it was necessary for you to be in attendance?
It was necessary for me to be in attendance because I have a daughter at home and a son at home. And I felt like if I went, I would be able to get knowledge on how to come back to my community and better my community for my kids' sake.
Now, did you ride on the bus with the people, or how'd you go?
I went with a fellow lady named Miss Nicole. Me, her, and her kids went down there. We drove 8.5 hours.
So when you got down there amongst all those people, I don't know if you've ever been in an environment like that before.
Never. It was liberating. It was just fantastic. Everybody was, it was just so much love in the air. Like, it was just, I don't know how to describe it in words.
And you all spent the whole day down there in Washington?
Yes, we spent 2 days down there. We went down there Friday morning, and we left Sunday.
Okay, now how did you spend your time? I mean, what was all going on down there?
Well, they didn't really want us going out, and they had us, they made sure that we understood what our purpose was going down there. And our purpose was going to the march on Capitol Hill that Saturday. It wasn't to go down there to party. It wasn't going down there to explore everything. But we did go out and explore on Sunday. We went and seen the Martin Luther King Monument, Capitol Hill, the Lincoln Memorial. So yes.
So now, how did you? I mean, I guess you were. Sometimes it's kind of hard to hear the speakers clearly. So everything went well for you.
Yes, they had big screens put up on the National Mall. The speakers was actually on Capitol Hill speaking. So wherever you walked, you seen a screen, and the speakers was loud. You seen everything. I have videos of just me on the screen.
Right.
It was nice.
So, I guess in essence, for a person from Fort Wayne who didn't go, what did they really miss? I mean, I know you mentioned the camaraderie, but how can you be more elaborative? With all those people around, you don't see those kind of crowds here in Fort Wayne. I mean, here in Fort Wayne, you don't see large crowds of black people ever, and to go from here to and be around something like that. In what ways was it liberating? That's what I'm trying to get a handle on.
I think it was more so the fact that to know that we can do it. If we all was to come together, we can. We need to stop letting people tell us that we can't. It's impossible for us. It shouldn't have taken one man to get us all together. In Fort Wayne, it shouldn't take one person. It's going to take a whole community for us to all come together as one. We have to start learning that we are powerful when we come together. We have to stop letting people tell us that we can't do anything, because we can do whatever we put our minds to.
But yet, you took the initiative to follow up on your own thoughts. I mean, for years, for decades, here in Fort Wayne, we've been saying that we can do these things and we need to come together, but we never get any traction.
No, I think it's because we as blacks have lost our knowledge of self. When black people come to you and tell you something, we say no. But as soon as a white man come and say, oh, let's do this, we're all down for it. I think we're so conditioned to be more acceptive to white people than we are of our own kind.
Conditioned how?
We go against each other way too much. We fight against each other too much. We don't support each other. We would rather go support, another company. Say we have nail stylists down here, we have artists down here, but we'll rather go to an Asian stylist to get our nails done, to go to our African American women. But it's because we're not used to us having our own. We're used to other people having theirs, and we go on to support theirs and not our own.
For a long time, people said that slave mentality doesn't really exist here. But that sounds like what you're describing there.
This is exactly what I'm describing.
I mean, I've had a chance to speak with people who say that we have too many Asian stores in the community, But yet, as they say these things, they'll go there and shop, almost like somebody has a gun to their head to make them do so. And at the same time, they will ignore the black businesses. I mean, case in point, over on Oxford Street, there's a black-owned store, and I've heard specific examples where people would go to the store, to the black store, use the restroom, and go to the other places and buy their chips and other candies and things like that.
Yes, what I'm hearing is that they feel like at black stores they cost too much. But what they fail to realize is that they don't get enough business. So how can they lower their prices if they're not selling nothing? You rather go pay $10 than go pay $7.50.
Where'd you get this mindset from?
Reading, I guess. Just observing the people around me. Yeah.
I mean,
wants to know that too. I don't know
is your mom or dad? I mean, do they have that kind of fire in them like you have?
No, sir. I think I'm the only one in my family that actually has it. They call me the radical one in the family. I speak a lot with my family. It's more so like I just feel like as a black woman, I need to empower the people around me. I have kids, so I want my kids to grow up and know self-worth and know that it's okay to go buy from your next brother. It's okay to go support your brother. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, granted, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go support everybody else, but support your own first.
Now, you mentioned that you went down there with a girlfriend.
Yes.
I guess obviously she's spiritually just like you are.
Yeah.
Tell me about her. Is she the one who I was in contact with?
Miss Nicole King. Yes, she is.
I mean, when I first met her, she immediately I could feel a very strong vibe from her, and she spoke very loudly and very clearly and expressed herself to me, you know, just emphatically, just very, you know, straightforward.
She's very forward. She believes that she has boys and girls herself. She has 2 boys and a little girl. So she really took her kids down there, especially her oldest son, to get an understanding and feel of unity between our blacks. And he took out of all the things about relationships and about how to treat our black women, because for some odd reason, you know, we don't treat our women right. So it was nice when he told me that that's like the most thing that he got out of the whole thing was how to treat our women.
You know, why do we treat women like that? I mean, are people that gullible to be influenced by music, or who's the culprit here?
I think it starts at home. I think the generations are getting, like, parenting is getting younger and younger, and they're not being taught. So what's been taught to them is what they see on mass media and on social media. And then you have memes that, you know, divide us already with women. You have TV shows that show black women in a negative light or don't show black women being strong at all. You have musicians calling us bees and, you know, thoughts and everything else. So with our generation getting younger and younger, and the parents is not teaching them at home anymore, they're going to learn from that. And that's what they see, and that's what they're going to do. And then our women are teaching our young girls how to respect themselves. So if they don't learn how to respect themselves at home, then they're not going to go out there and know how a man should respect them.
Now, you haven't mentioned the pastors here. You know, usually, traditionally, in the black community, some of that responsibility used to fall on the pastors to set the tone, to lead our communities forward, to make us strong and feel like we have a self-worth.
Well, I would say I think that, like I said, our generation is getting younger, and not a lot of people are going to church anymore. So I don't put it on the pastors. We don't have leaders. I will say, for one, that I feel like we don't have strong, fearless leaders like we need, and that's why I went to the Million Man March, to become that fearless, strong leader that my community needs. How
were you impressed by Minister Farrakhan?
Oh, the words that he was speaking was, like, they were so true. Like, a lot of people felt like I shouldn't have went because it was Farrakhan speaking, and he did not impose the Nation of Islam upon us. He just spoke how he felt about the black community. He put all religions into one boiling pot. He felt like how can we keep asking our oppressors to help us and they want to oppress us? They're not going to help us. We have to help ourselves. We have to get out of this state that we're in. So we, as a Black community, must come together and lead our generations to greatness.
But see, a lot of Black adults feel that that concept that you just mentioned there is like a reverse discrimination, where it's often viewed that when Blacks talk about coming together, that, why don't you like white people?
And it's not that we don't like white people. Why is it that Blacks can't stand together and not be anti-white? That's just like we have Chinatowns. It's not like we don't say, oh, y'all going against white people because y'all all stick together. But we're the only race that can't stick together. Why?
Have you had a chance to, you mentioned that you're going to one of the local universities. Are the younger women here becoming more self-empowered? Do you feel that kind of a spirit out here, or do you feel that it's still isolated and fragmented?
I wouldn't say that we aren't self-empowered. I do think that a lot of us don't know where to go. We're just taken back by society sometimes. We don't know how to move forward with our lives because we have been so we're so negatively viewed.
So it sounds like you're saying that the people in your parents' age group and grandparents' age group have kind of failed you here a little bit.
I would say so. I just told my mom that yesterday. I told her that that her generation didn't teach us anything. And it's not just, her generation. It's my generation as well, because we are letting our kids go just like we were let go. We're not teaching them, and that's why I want to become that fearless leader. I want to become that person in my community that teaches our kids about self-worth, teaches, re-educate, as Louis Farrakhan would say. We have to re-educate our kids, and even adults, we need to re-educate.
Well, Skye, I appreciate your coming out here for a moment and just sharing some thoughts with us. And what we're going to try to do here is try to see if we can't galvanize more women to get out here and start talking here, because it's very brave of you to come up here alone and just sit down here and share your thoughts. Any last words of wisdom that you want to share with Fort Wayne Blacks? Because it seems like we are asleep here a little bit.
We are really asleep. And first, there are 4 things that we must start doing. We must first build on our homes first. We have to take care of our homes before we take care of anybody else. If our home is weak, when we go out, we're going to be weak to our leader, to our children, our generation. We need to start getting on local committees. If we don't be on our committees, how can we expect them to know what we need and what we want into our communities? Then we have to re-educate our kids. We have to re-educate them. Our system is not teaching our kids about our history. And then we have to start eating well. What we feed our stomachs, what we feed ourselves is what we feed our minds. So if we feed ourselves garbage, then we're not going to be able to think right. We have to be conscious. We have to start getting. We have to become conscious.
Well, but you said a word here a minute ago that I have to come back to. History. That seems to be so boring to a lot of people, and they don't want to hear anything about history because we want to forget about all that.
We want to forget about it, and then on top of that, we want to forget about it because of how they're teaching it to our kids in school. It's not fun to them in school. We're tired of hearing about the same old, same people. We need to learn about our freedom slave riders. We need to learn, we need to actually learn what we did and not what they telling us what we did or what we didn't do.
That's awesome. So, Skye, we're going to be talking again here. I appreciate your coming out and taking time out of your schedule and sharing your insights and words of wisdom with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.